Welcome to Television Sydney News. I'm Ryan McClanahan, it's great to have you with us. In this week's bulletin, Wollondilly Council supports research into improving the Warragamba economy, marking Anzac Day 2013, and colourful characters come out to cosplay in Abbotsford. But first, fans are gearing up for the soccer showdown of the year as the Western Sydney Wanderers play the Central Coast Mariners in Sunday's A-League Grand Final. The match will cap off a fairy tale run for the Wanderers in their debut A-League season. The team were unbeaten for 12 consecutive games before defeating defending champions Brisbane Roar to make it into the Grand Final. Wanderers coach Tony Popovich says the support of fans have done a lot to motivate the team.
They were like a 12th man on Friday night when we played Brisbane, and we're just delighted that they get another chance to come out and support us.
Popovich was named A-League Coach of the Year this week and says he was humbled to receive the award from his peers. Captain Michael Beecham says while the Wanderers' success has been a massive team effort, they wouldn't have gone the distance without Popovich.
He's done a great job with not only the team as a whole, but individual players, I think, have all stepped up and improved this season, and yeah, you have to give him a lot of credit for sure.
Supporters in their hundreds marched to Parramatta Stadium from the Woolpack Hotel on Friday night, led by fan group The Red and Black Bloc. Police say they were generally pleased with the behaviour of supporters, but a total of 9 people were arrested for offences including discharging flares and trespassing. With tens of thousands of fans expected to flock to Allianz Stadium for the clash, police launched a high-visibility operation on Friday to ensure a safe environment. Fans also came out in force to watch this week's training session and say they're looking forward to a close contest on Sunday. Most fans say they feel the Wanderers have united Western Sydney.
We weren't really fans of Sydney FC, although we were interested in how they progressed, of course, and how the A-League was progressing. Always felt maybe a slight disconnect, if you like, and so the club's in the area, the club's always here, and so this is sort of our team.
Soccer in Australia, or what we call football overseas, needed something like this, and they've got an amazing support base.
I lived and grew up in Western Sydney, and the area was dying for a team, so yeah, and once we came on board, took the kids out and we love it.
How can you describe it? It's absolutely phenomenal. What they've done this year is unprecedented, and hope they go all the way.
Wollondilly Council has supported university research to help address Warragamba's flagging economy. An Infrastructure New South Wales report last year estimated $8 billion worth of damage would be caused if a 1 in 1,000 year flood hit Warragamba Dam. But flooding isn't the only problem facing communities like Warragamba. More than 100,000 people visit Warragamba Dam each year, but most of them bypass the town. Now, Wollondilly Council and the Sydney Catchment Authority have provided $20,000 to fund university research on ways to connect the town with the dam. All that's needed is a University of Western Sydney student willing to undertake the research. On Thursday, the nation will pause to remember those who served for Australia during conflict. World War II bombardier Kenneth Shepherd says on Anzac Day he reflects on how lucky he was to come home. The 89-year-old is the last surviving crew member of the 460 Squadron. He completed 30 raids over Germany and northern Italy with them.
I remember that on occasions when we got into serious trouble through flak and night fighters, I had to call on the Lord to tell me where I was.
Mr. Shepherd received the Distinguished Flying Cross during World War II for his valour. But even all these years later, he can't believe he survived the war when so many of his good mates didn't.
I had a particular mate who was in first year Sydney University, and he got killed on his first raid.
This will be the first Anzac Day service Mr. Shepherd attends without his wife Lillian, who died in March. They had been married 66 years. He will attend a service at Kellyville's new war memorial. More than 1,000 people have protested against state government plans to redevelop Australia's first town square. Community Action for Windsor Bridge organised the rally last Sunday in a bid to save historic Thompson Square from redevelopment. Roads and Maritime Services has plans to demolish and replace Windsor's existing bridge over the Hawkesbury River, which would see a major road cut through the historic Town Square precinct. The group has called for an independent inquiry into the proposal. Jack Mundy, who was part of the 1970s Green Ban movement that saved historic areas of Sydney from redevelopment, addressed the crowd on the day. Despite signs advertising the protest being stolen the night before, organisers hailed the rally a huge success. There are fears a proposed fast train line between Sydney and Melbourne could damage the environment east of Campbelltown. Local civic leaders and environmentalists are worried the $114 billion project would threaten the Georges River, a local koala colony, and native vegetation. Trains would travel up to 350 kilometres an hour from Central Station and emerge from an underground tunnel at Holsworthy. The preferred route would continue alongside the Georges River, slicing through pristine bushland east of Campbelltown. Young people from the West showed off their talents during National Youth Week celebrations last week. Hundreds of young people showcased the National Youth Week theme of Be Active, Be Happy, Be You by taking part in activities including playing and watching music, playing sport and making films. Local entertainer Asma Yusra took to the stage as part of Parramatta's celebrations, performing a set that included 4 poems about her life. Miss Yusra says Youth Week provides an outlet to celebrate young people's creativity.
The youth is the time when they're at their highest energy. They have a lot of creativity, and I think it's very important for us to celebrate that creativity.
She says it's important for people, especially young people, to write and understand spoken word poetry.
I think it can be quite entertaining for youth. I think getting up and actually performing is a lot more different than just reading poetry.
Other Parramatta Youth Week celebrations included a manga exhibition by Pendle Hill High School students. A Penrith publican is so devoted to raising money for disadvantaged young people that she is willing to be locked up. Penrith Tattersalls hotel manager Catherine Cook was locked up at the Penrith Paceway as part of the Police Citizens Youth Club's annual Time for Kids fundraising drive last week. She says much of the hotel's fundraising to date has gone to waste because a thief stole their donation bucket.
Our bucket at the Penrith Tattersalls Hotel got stolen last Tuesday. There's about $500-600 in there. We've been put it at the bar for 2 months, so the locals were donating for the last 2 months.
Penrith Panther Lachlan Coote was also locked up as part of the event and had to raise $500 in order to be let out. The star player, whose season was ended by a pectoral injury last month, says he's happy to be involved in such a good cause. Penrith PCYC President Terry Ray says the money raised will go towards sports, musical and artistic activities for disadvantaged and disabled young people.
The equipment costs a lot of money, and this is where the money goes. You purchase equipment for our judo, soundproof the music room, and other the kids in need, families in need. We help them out a lot. And the police have a very good working unit where they work with people that have troubles, and money goes to help these people get back on the right side of life.
The event raised $17,000. It was held during a race night at the Paceway and also included performances from the PCYC band. Donations can be made until the end of April by going to the PCYC website. The restored grave of Blue Mountains explorer William Lawson will be unveiled in Prospect on April 27. The event coincides with the annual Back to St. Bartholomew's Day celebrations. Next month will mark 200 years since Lawson and fellow explorers Gregory Blaxland and Charles William Wentworth crossed the Blue Mountains in 1813. After unveiling the Lawson family vault at 10 a.m, history buffs will be treated to displays of musket firing and marching drills, family history records, cemetery tours, and stalls with historic themes. A couple of mates from Western Sydney will travel some of Australia's roughest roads next month to raise money for the New South Wales Cancer Council. Nicholas Watt from Beaumont Hills and Aaron Laws from McGrath's Hill will be joined by teammates on a 3,600-kilometre journey for the 2013 Shitbox Rally. Now in its 4th year, the rally will see 200 cars worth $1,000 or less splutter from Adelaide to Fremantle via Uluru over 7 days.
We did the rally a couple of years ago and it was a lot of fun. We met a lot of great people and it's a good opportunity to travel through that part of Australia.
This year's rally will be even more significant for the RAAF aircraft technicians, who have both had close family members suffer from cancer.
I recently lost my uncle to lung cancer, so it's going to make this year's rally a lot more special to me.
They have each raised $3,000 so far. but they need to reach a minimum of $4,000 by May 3. Despite the many hours of driving ahead of them, the boys are optimistic about what they can expect along the way.
A few flat tyres and just a lot of good times.
And a few laughs.
A few laughs along the way.
And in sport, the GWS Giants will play their third game of the season at the MCG against the Melbourne Demons this Sunday. But the team will play without key forward Jonathan Patton and ruckman Dean Brogan. Patton suffered a season-ending injury last week and will be replaced by Setanta O'Halpin, who's been out for almost a year recovering from a knee injury. Brogan copped a 3-match penalty after being charged with rough conduct, while Devon Smith will also miss the game due to suspension. The Giants are coming second last on the ladder and the Demons are on the bottom, with both teams yet to secure a win this season. Coach Kevin Sheedy has likened Sunday's important match to a final. He says both clubs need to be at their best because neither were performing well. And after a series of heavy losses, Sheedy says the Giants need to take responsibility for their performance. Picton motocross rider Megan Rutledge kept pace with the best in the opening round of the Women's Motocross World Championships last week. The 17-year-old finished second in both her races in Holland to take second place overall in the 7-round championship. Taking on the best riders in the world gave Rutledge plenty of experience and the confidence to believe she can win future championship rounds. Triathlete Erin Densham has been named the world's #1 ranked female triathlete. Densham, who grew up at Roos, is in Arizona this week preparing for the second round of the World Championship Series in San Diego on April 21. Diagnosed at the age of 12 with a heart problem which causes an accelerated heartbeat, Densham defied the odds to become a champion. Her mother, Jan, says she's pleased Erin ignored her advice to quit the sport she loved for the sake of her health. Erin also won a bronze medal in the women's triathlon at the London Olympic Games. And finally, colourful characters have been strutting their stuff at a cosplay event in Abbotsford. Cosplay is short for costume play, and participants dress as their favourite manga, anime, comic book or video game characters. Anime at Abbotsford held its 7th cosplay barbecue this month, with fans from around Sydney donning their favourite outfits to take part.
Today I'm Miku Hatsume.
I'm Kaito from Vocaloid. Today I am Yuki Cross from the TV show Vampire Night.
My character is Russia from the TV show Axis Power Hetalia, and he is a country.
Some entrants had put weeks of work into their outfits.
Well, the costume took me about 2 weeks to make, and the hair took me about an hour to style, and it took me about 20 minutes to get into this morning.
Cosplay fans are also gearing up for Sydney's Pop Culture Expo to be held at Homebush in June. And that's all for this week's bulletin. For more information on any of these stories, pick up your local Fairfax community newspaper. I'm Ryan McClanahan. We'll see you next time.